Diana. This is Regina, and you're you. And so, how you doing this morning? I'm doing well. It's not even really morning anymore. It's lunchtime, but you know me. I'm still drinking coffee. Got a new coffee. Got a bunch of new coffees last week. And this is the only one I've gotten roasted so far. It's a Costa Rican. It's a honey processed Catura coffee. It had a funny color in the bag. The green coffee was more brown than green, and I just decided to roast it because I had never had that coffee before. And it's quite good, actually. I roasted it a medium. I think in the future I might do it a little bit darker. It has some really fruity overnotes, and I don't like fruity coffees that much. I like for the chocolates and those kind of flavors to come out a little bit more, which require a little darker roast. So I'll give it another shot that way before I really make up my mind. But it's not half bad just the way it is. I've got the kids, the people who like the light queens over in Waitsburg working on it, and I'll see what they say before I make up my mind. But they always like the lighter coffees, and so they're good cohorts, so to speak. And when we agree on something, then it comes out really good. So, anyway, I'm so glad you read my story and you liked it so well. That really is encouraging for me. Oh, mercy. When I got that assignment, it was just a writing group, and we could do whatever we wanted, and you got to be a good sport and go with the flow. I had never written anything like a post-apocalyptic story, and I was surprised how into it I got. Oh, my stars. You talk about wanting more, and all I wanted to do while writing that story was find a place to stop. I got so attached to Emily that I would just cry like a baby while I tried to read it. I would take it back and I would like read it to the group, and everybody would be in tears by the time I was done, and oh, my stars. And then a couple of months later we decided to add on, and we were joking around the night the assignment was made, and I said, well, I probably won't go back with that. And the next day there I was writing it. I was working on it. Oh gosh. And then but it really is food for thought. Why? And I guess part of it stems from my fascination these days with death and dying. Um, because I don't want to be afraid of it. Because as I near it, and only because I'm getting older, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and I choose to not fear that, and it's something to look forward. My beliefs kind of are more in line with a Buddhist, and I shouldn't even say more in line with Buddhists than Christianity. I'm more Buddhist than I am Christian, and they tell me there's nothing to fear in death. That I'm going to go back to the one to the creator, and then I'll get spit back out in another life, and it's only things to look forward to. And so why would we try to prolong our misery? I have actually lived through a couple of things that were very scary, that were kind of apocalyptic now, the virus included. But when the virus first started, there was so much fear because we don't know what is going to happen to us. And so when you really see somebody, it could be the final time that you ever see them. And there's always those old sayings about live each day as if it's your last, and not to get maudlin or anything, but you know, how do you do that? What does that entail? And so this story is really kind of like going along those lines. What does it really get down to live each day as if it's your last? And I certainly wouldn't want to like stay in the basement like those people and run out of food and then slowly have to starve to death, or think about eating each person as they pass, or just exactly what, thinking that the clouds are going to lift or whatnot, because there's nothing to fear on the other side of death. So anyway, that's that. I I couldn't write more. I those characters now are like passed on. And by reading that story, I think I finally freed myself from them. And I can talk about it pretty easily now. Well, the other question that you asked me was, what am I going to do now that I closed the coffee shop? Well, I'm going to roast coffee, and I'm going to like make my rounds, sell my coffee to the wholesale to the places I sell. I've got like a couple of coffee shops and restaurants and and try and find the one place to be my repository where I can kind of work out of and have all my coffee stock on display there with somebody else actually selling it, and turn it into a wholesale place too. But I'll be able to come in there and grind coffee. Or I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. So I don't know. I don't know. But the other thing is, I just want to take it easier. Like, I kind of like slowing down for the virus lockdown. I like spending time with my dog. I like doing all kinds of things. I would like to get kind of maybe back into gardening a little bit, but I'm not sure I've got time to do a lot of stuff. I've also started writing again a little bit. I have been now for 3 weeks writing 3 pages a day, trying to kick my creativity loose again. And I kind of see it working. This morning I saved my last page and tried to create a picture with words, and I just looked up and stared out my window that I've got the drape across here now, because it's really quite a unique little view, because my backyard is pretty much enclosed by arbor vitae, and there is a hole there where the gate is, and it's probably what, 8 feet wide, that hole. Two arbor I called it two arborvitaes wide, and it looks out over the downtown. You know, you can see the roofs of the buildings downtown. You can see all the trees, and as you look across the tops of the buildings, you know, the buildings aren't really visible. What you see is the trees that are sticking up, and then up above all that, there is this satellite dish, you know, from the 80s or 90s, and you can see through that. And then there's a big Palouse hill out there covered in almost ripe wheat. And a little patch of blue sky at the top of all that. And you know, I tried to paint that picture with words that I wrote, and you know, writing longhand, you know, whole page is a paragraph, just really, you know, once you start typing it up. I was thinking about typing it up though and seeing what it really looked like. It was kind of interesting. It was kind of interesting, and it certainly painted a different picture because I tried to take a picture with my phone. Oh, Diane, it was so funny because that wheat field up there reflects so much light back that you couldn't see anything beyond my patio, really. Beyond my backyard, it's just a big white blur. And it was really kind of cool because I could see more than that. And you had to use your imagination while you were looking at that picture. And so it's quite interesting. Very interesting, my dear. Yes. And so, you know, my life is so good, I'm not sure it really matters what I do, long as I keep enjoying myself. Um, I'm almost to the point where I don't even care about if we open up again. You know, before I transitioned, I was pretty much an isolator. You know, I spent a lot of time in Idaho in the backcountry, and I got to where I was really pretty comfortable with that. And every day, every Monday, I would go to work, and I might not see people again until Friday when I returned on my drive back, because I would get up every morning and head up to my project and you know, spend the day or half the day there, and then come back, and if I didn't have anything to do, I'd go for a hike someplace by myself. If anything would have ever happened to me, I'd still be there. You know, because I never told anybody. I talked to my boss once every week or so, maybe every 2 weeks. He was in Seattle and I'm in Idaho, and you know, he didn't feel it necessary to talk with me. He just gave me a list of things I was supposed to do, and I'd take care of it. If I got done, I got done. My text messages keep going off here. So my friend Meg is trying to get in touch with me. So anyway, I I got no problems. Life is good. So good. I wish my background here looked as good as yours does there at Jeans. You know, I just don't have the right exposure to grow plants in the house here. You know, my house, the living room faces to the north, and this far north, you don't get any sunshine in those babies. Um, Beautiful day out. It's only about 70 degrees right now, and it's only supposed to get up to about 78. And I'm kind of grateful for that today because I've got a golf this afternoon at 5. And so, anyway, I'm going to hurry up and get this finished and send it off. And love you. Love everybody else that's checking in. And, you know, if you've got any more questions or anything about writing, let me know. I'll either answer with what I know is the truth or I'll make something up. You know, I can tell a story with the best of them. And so just ask me. I'll tell you. Okay. All right. You all have a good day. I hope it's comfortable where you're at and all is good. Love you. Bye bye.